over the ball is number 10 midfielder, noted as a midfielder. He'll be playing striker today, Eric Dunbar. And Gal will possess first. We're away. Here's Gaye, right at the 30, and harassed by Max Mathies, battling with number 99. That appeared to be a 99. Which I did not have on the initial roster. Here's Gaye. Martinez. All given up. Here's Fix. Oppelt, and now we're dropping. Ransom Hall. Sadie. Sadie looking for Dobson. Ball now at the feet of Jefferson Blay. Mahmoud. Dropping to Blay. Hall. Sadie on the near touch. Sadie pass directed and intercepted by Milo Mahmoud. And now Gal United in possession on the far touch. Here's Mahmoud. Harassed by Dobson. Possession given up. Dobson with a through ball. Has his man. Shot fired. Just high. Shot off the left foot of Max Mathies. And the first press forward for your Thunder results in a shot just high. We'll have a goal kick taken by Elias Eriksson. I'm wondering if number it appeared that number 14 Mahmoud was offside, however made no contact with the ball as that ball was put all the way through to Josiah Hutton. Hutton finding Fix. Now Fix back in possession. This is Ransom Hall. Hall puts the ball forward to Appelt. Appelt to the far touch. And right at midfield, here's Trace Dobson. Dobson with a long switch to Charles Sadie. Sadie, ball put into the attacking third. That's been a ball movement, and can Talon Dobson possess? He does, and flicks that ball forward. That's off the right hand of the defender, and we're going to have a penalty kick as the defender is going to make his case that he was outside of the box, and he was certainly not. And this will be a PK for your Thunder. And I'm trying to see, it's actually a teammate arguing that he was outside of the box. I think that was off of number 15, Melvin Geffey. Over the penalty will be Talon Dobson. And Elias Eriksson getting his instructions from the center ref. Here's Dobson. Go. Sioux Falls Thunder strike first. 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the first half. Dobson earning the PK, flicking the ball off of the hand of the defender in the penalty area, and over the ball and easily in the left corner for a Thunder goal. Talon Dobson at 4:20. Now Garwo in possession. Drops to the near touch. This is Geffy. Gabor is dispossessed, and the ball put forward by Fix is intercepted. Again, Garwo in possession, trying to play down the near touch. Out of play. This will be a throw-in for the Thunder. Sadie finding Ransom. Ball dropped to Hutton. Hutton taking a little bit extra time. Ball is deflected, but does end up at the feet of Charles Sadie, who plays that ball off of the defender, earning a throw on the near touch. Looking for Dobson. Ball put towards Max Matisse, who's into the penalty area, defended by the keeper. Falls to number 26, shot fired. That's Phil Appelt. And the ball is deflected. Last touched by a Garwo United player. We'll have our first corner of the game for your Thunder. Quick play out to Phil Appelt. Appelt finds Saidi. Ball's defended. And looking to counter now is Garwo United. Here's number 10, Eric Dunbar. Dunbar in possession. Flag is up. And that's number 20. I believe Nicola Kelly, or Kelly Nicola, offside. Ball's dropped to Ransom Hall. Hall has Charles Sadie. Hall. Dobson to Sadie. To Talon Dobson. Now Garwo in possession. Melvin Geffy. Penalty's going to be called, I believe, on Geffy. Foul drawn by Phil Appelt. Quickly playing to the near touch is Dobson, finding Fix. Ball put forward too strongly, easily gathered by Elias Eriksson for Garwo United. Long ball put forward, taken out of the air by Kelvin Martinez. Martinez still in possession. Has Geffy. Geffy's ball initially intercepted by a Thunder player, then possession given up. Here's Ransom. I'll put to midfield. Dobson, looking for his teammate and brother Talon, does find Talon Dobson. And now we're dropping back to Ahmed Jakob. Ball put forward. This is Appelt. Appelt with a through ball just too strong, beyond the reach of Disa Fix, gathered by Elias Eriksson. Here's Martinez. Bit of Plinko. The ball eventually ends at the feet of Trace Dobson. Trying to play down line, and that ball is out of touch for a Garwo United throw. Geffy. Ball last touched by Garwo United. That's Elton Gabor. Charles Sadie with the throw. Trace Dobson. Sadie. Dobson back to Sadie on the near touch. Is past Edward Gaye. Here's a cross. Intercepted by a Garwo United defender. Put back into play by Appelt. Now Trace Dobson in possession again, finding Sadie on the near touch. Last touched by Bohr. Hall. Appelt. Ahmed Yakub. Now at midfield, possession given over to Gal United. Here at midfield is number 99, number that I actually don't have on my scoring sheet. Pardon me, that's Roland Sluian, a number that I do have on my scoring sheet. Long ball put all the way forward to Max Mathies. Flag is up, and he is offside at the American football 31-yard line. And rather than move that ball up an additional 12 yards, Gal United will play deep in their defensive third. Possession given up at midfield. Here's Appelt. Appelt finds Jakub. Hutton. Back to Jakub. Talon Dobson over midfield. Has Max Mathies. Mathies played off the ball. And now Gal United in possession. Here's Geffy. Ball put forward looking for Martinez. And Ahmad Yakub will beat Martinez to the ball and will possess Trace Dobson. And this is a tricky pass that is luckily gathered by Ransom Hall. And now Stephen Shores on the far touch. Talon Dobson. Appelt. Desafix. Back to Appelt. Appelt looking for Charles Sadie, and that pass is too strong, out of play. And Melvin Geffy with a throw for Gal United. Here's Mahmoud. Mila Mahmoud finds Gaye. Well, eventually finds the feet of number 13. Possession given up and then retained by number 13. Unfortunately, folks, I do not have a name for number 13 on my sheet. Oh, I lied to you before, but that is a number that I truly do not have a name for. Let's throw one at midline. Ball headed forward, put out of play, actually put forward by Charles Sadie. Here's Max Mathies. Dobson looking for Mathies, and that ball is intercepted by number 13. Last touched by 13, thrown in by Dobson. No offside on a throw-in, and Mathies in possession just outside of the penalty area is past one, attempts to cross, and ball is defended out of play by a Gal United defender. Second corner kick of this first half for your Thunder. I believe this is Talon Dobson over the corner. In swinger, off the left foot, ball off of Trace Dobson and out of play over the near touch. Gal United throw. Here's Geffy. And Edward Gaye is fouled by Max Mathies. Be a free kick for Gal United. 5-hole? 5-hole people? Or is it one person with 5 TVs? You never know.
3 TVs and 2 phones.
Yeah. Talon Dobson. Here's Stephen Shores finding Charles Sadie. Sadie passed one, passed two, and looking for the cheeky outside left foot pass forward to Max Mathies. It's intercepted, and off to the races is number 20, Kelly Nicola. And he's going to argue that that was a pass back to the keeper and that the keeper should not have been able to should not have been able to put his hands on the ball. Center ref says no. A nice bit of work here by Gao. And excellent defending by Ahmed Yaqub. He's the last offender other than the keeper, Josiah Hutton. And Ahmed able to put his right foot on the ball to deflect it out for the first corner of the game for Gal United. In the box is Roland Sluyan, and looks like we're going to have a change of. I think we're going to maybe have someone else come to take the corner. Instead, they want number 13, who appears to be probably the tallest player on the field for Gal United. He'll come into the penalty area. He'll match up against Phil Appelt. Quick discussion between the center ref and Roland Sluyan. Not positive what's taking place. An injury. Oh, excuse me. So coming off for the Thunder. Is that Ahmed? This ball put into the mixer, last touched by a Thunder player, and we'll have another corner now on the near side for Gal United. It looks like Ahmed Yaqub is now off for your Thunder. Back-to-back corners for Gal United. In swinger, out to the 18, and the attempted bicycle by Martinez is thwarted by gravity, and shot fired, easily gathered by Ransom Hall. That's a lie, not gathered by Ransom Hall, gathered by Josiah Hutton, the goalkeeper. Here's Ransom Hall. Hutton. Talon Dobson. Schroyers. Long ball looking for Max Mathies. Possession attained by number 13. Last touched by Max. Long ball put forward, and substitution. Maybe not a sub. Number 44, Luke Williams, now on the field. And my assumption is that Williams came on for Ahmed Yaqub. As Thunder was down to 10. Now pressing forward in possession is Martinez, flag up at the Cougar football 25. Sadie. Dobson. Touch too strong, intercepted by Martinez. Now Dobson harassing Martinez. Last touch by Dobson. Out of play. Throw in for Gal United. It's about 19 minutes in. Your Thunder lead 1-0. Geffy. Ball taken over by Fix. Fix has Max Mathies. Oh, and the cross just at the 6. And Nate Ayelu just cannot put a foot on it to finish. Possession now turned to Gal United. It's a goal kick for Elias Eriksson. Eriksson centrally to number, here's Fix. There's Eric Dunbar. Martinez in possession. Harassed by Fix. Fix gains possession. Ball falls to the feet of Talon. Dobson with the throw has Fix. Has Trace Dobson. Dobson off the knee. And foul committed by number 13. My apologies. Not. I don't think a foul was called. I think a handball was called. As Dobson had flicked the ball into the air and was last touched off of the forearm of number 13. Phil Appelt will ask for 10. Yeah, I guess we're looking at a hypotenuse, so you think on a football field it might be to a degree easier to figure out, and this ball curled back of the net, and that's a goal for number 26, Phil Appelt, and your Thunder lead 2-0. And Phil fools Eriksson as that free kick just curling right to left into the left post area, and Thunder up 2-0. Here's Mahmoud. Pass given up at midfield. Another through ball. Looking for Max Mathies. And possession gathered by Eriksson. There's Dobson. Ransom Hall. Hall looking for Nate. Possession given up on the far touch. Luke Williams gives chase. And through three, finding a teammate. And eventually the ball ends at the feet of a Thunder defender. And here's Disa Fix. Fix is fouled by number 15, Melvin Geffey. Trace Dobson stands over this free kick. Has Appelt. Finds Schroyers. Ransom Hall. Back to Dobson. To Appelt. And here's Sadie. Last touched by Edward Gaye. And throw in near the corner for the Thunder. Here's Appelt. Cross. Gathered in the penalty area. And defending from his knees is Jefferson Blay. I wonder if the ref is suggesting to Blay that he can't continue to play the ball from that position. And several Gal United players gathered around arguing with the center ref. As that was Nate Ayelu for the Thunder trying to gather possession while Jefferson Blay was on his knees in the penalty area. assuming this is an indirect penalty. Ball dropped to number 44, defended by Elia Erickson. It was a shot fired by Luke Williams. And now Thunder will drop all the way back to Josiah Hutton. Hall. Sadie. And cannot manage to keep that ball completely in the field of play. This will be a throw-in for Gal United. Just short of the midline. Martinez. Trace Dobson has Disa Fix. Disa Fix initially played off the ball, regathers. Now Gao in possession. Here's Mahmoud to 13. Ball played over midline and through ball too strong, easily gathered by Josiah Hutton. Schroyers, Hall, Appelt, near touch, Sadie, all last touched by Eric Dunbar. The 10 for Gal United. There's Ransom Hall, Hutton, finds Schroyers. Trace Dobson, 2 converge on Trace, and he finds Schroyers. And Schroyers' pass is unfortunately to the feet of Martinez, but Martinez unexpectedly passes it back to Trace Dobson. Now Gao just into their attacking third. Talon Dobson and Luke Williams harassing number 20, Nicola. Free kick. So Blay giving a... Blay may still be frustrated from the penalty called on him earlier, giving a friendly little shove to the Thunder midfielder. I'll put forward into the penalty area. And last touched by a Thunder player. This will be a corner for Gal United. That was Charles Sadie. That wasn't Charles that was a recipient of the friendly shove. Edward Gaillet. Ball headed over the goal by number 20, Nicola. Josiah Hudson with a goal kick. Here's Appelt, Hutton, Schroyers, back to Hutton, back to Phil Appelt, Sadie, Max Mathies, Trace Dobson. Full field switch into the far touch. And here's Schroyers, Ransom Hall. And I feel like I've told this story already. Here's Charles Sadie, Trace Dobson over midfield. All put forward and now controlled by number 13. 13's pass finds a feet of a Thunder player. Dobson tripped up. Gal United in possession. Pass intercepted by Stephen Schroyers. Here's Appelt. Luke Williams. Ball put forward towards Max Mathies. Turning. Oh, that would have been a beautiful bit of control on that touch by Max Mathies, but all for naught as he is offside. Approaching the 30-minute mark in this first half. On the far touch, controlled, and possession initially taken over by Nate Ayelu, and now here's Talon Dobson. Possession given up. Long ball put forward towards Martinez. Shot fired. Wide right. Goal kick. Thunder. It's Josiah Hutton. As Schroyers. Appelt. Back to Schroyers. Looking for Nate. Now Max Mathies gives pressure on Jefferson Blay. Luke with a throw, looking for Max Mathies. Mathies pulled down. Oh, and the kick. This is going to be a red. Yeah, direct red. And Jefferson Blay, who was already frustrated, you saw him frustrated with the penalty given, the direct kick given in his own penalty box, and pulls down Max Mathies, and while on the ground, then kicks Mathies, and that's going to be a direct red every time, as that's right in the face of the center ref. And Jefferson Blay, his time in this game is done. And unfortunately for Gal United, that means they will play down a man for at least 54 minutes of tonight's matchup. Over the ball is Phil Appelt. As the Thunder take their positions at the 18. Like we're still waiting, as I think Blay maybe had additional things to say towards the center ref, and you see him indicating to his watch that he'll just continue to add this time on. Now the whistle blows. Hold up. Looks like fourth official, Ben Merritt, has asked the center ref to just take some time. I think maybe to allow Blay to get a little farther off the field and to cool, for cooler heads to prevail. Smiles down on the Gal United bench as Merritt explains his thinking. And we've got to be maybe close to 3 minutes added on this point, just from this one penalty. Ball delivered. Falls to the feet of Charles Sadie. And Sadie back over the ball. Here's Talon Dobson to Max Mathies. Mathies in possession. Mathies dispossessed. Now Gal United on the near touch. Here's Martinez. Martinez drops. Here's Kelly. Milo Mahmoud. All put forward Taken out of the air by Ransom Hall. And here is Disa Fix. Flags up as Max Mathies in an offside position at the Cougar 25. Number 13. Take this penalty. Excuse me, we'll take this free kick. Ball curling, finds the feet of Melvin Geffey. Being defended by Disa Fix. Possession given up. Dobson looking for Dobson, and that ball is intercepted by Nicola. Ball put forward. Be easily gathered by Josiah Hutton. Only one legitimate save on the day so far for Hutton. Otherwise, has not had to put in too much effort. Most through balls have been pretty strong. Oh, here's Max Mathies. Mathies into the penalty area. Has Disa Fix for the drop. Maintains possession. Appears to trip. Regathers. And now Disa Fix on ball. Max Mathies. Mathies shouldered off the ball. And very upset Gal United player in the face of the center ref, as center ref called for a corner. And Disa Fix the ref suggesting that Milo Mahmood and number 13 move away and stop their arguments. Phil Appelt and Disa Fix in the near corner for the Thunder. Here's, excuse me, that's not Disa. That's Charles Sadie. Phil. All put forward. Find the foot of Ransom Hall, moving left. Appelt. Back to Ransom Hall. Talon Dobson at midline. Beyond Elton Bohr. Ball put forward and deflected out of play by Edward Gaye. Quickly put into play. Talon Dobson. Finding Schroyers. Hall. Appelt. Through ball to 39. This is Nate. Ball a bit too strong. Gathered by Erickson. Gal United pressing forward. Over midline. Touch was too strong. Intercepted by Schroyers. But passed to a Gal United player. Now Gal in their attacking third. Flag is up. Free kick. Thunder. Schroyers. No one pressing at the moment. Ransom Hall. Charles Sadie. Max Mathies. Pulled down. That's going to be a foul on number 15, Melvin Geffey. Phil, Appelt, Schroyers. In the midfield, Talon. Dobson finds an attacker on the far touch. Ball's crossed in. Deflected to the feet of Elias Erickson, who gathers and now quickly rolls out. Cal United. Here's Gaye on the far touch. Looking for a teammate. Ball's last touch by Thunder. Gaye with the throw. As Roland Slujan. Last touched by Roland, excuse me, my apologies. Last touched by Phil Appold. Appold all over the field today. Now pressing forward. Dobson pressures. Disa Fix pressures. And they'll drop to Elias Eriksson. Slujan. Mahmoud. Mahmoud in possession. Harassed by Fix. And eventually possession given up to the Thunder. Talon Dobson. Schroyers. Schroyers finding Charles Sadie. Sadie has a teammate. Here is a beautiful goal for Max Mathies. And your Thunder up 3-0. A nice bit of 1-2, 1-2. That ball initially delivered forward by Charles Sadie. Last touched by Max Mathies. And your Thunder have a 3-0 lead. Yeah, Sadie to Nate Ayelu. And Ayelu to Max Mathies sees that Eriksson just a bit out of position, able to curl that ball beyond Eriksson, and all 3 goals into the left side of the goal area today. Maybe your Thunder are onto something. Maybe the goal's bigger on that side. Yeah, I'm wondering if, I really didn't see any complaints from the Gal United players about a potential offside. I didn't feel that Max was in an offside position, but if they just wanted to have a discussion as 13 comes back on the field. The center ref is going to have a chat with the 4th official, Ben Merritt, here at midline. You can see no subs didn't come on, did they? I didn't see any changes. What? Well, they're playing down a man after the red card. Gal United down 3 goals. Here's Edward Gaye. Gaye looking for Milo Mahmoud, and that ball is intercepted by Steven Schroyers. Schroyers in possession on the far touch. Gets past. And is tripped. The hands of the Gal United player goes up. Gal United with a throw. Here's Mahmoud. Ball cleared forward. Looking for Max Mathies. As this keeper is well out of position. It looked like that ball flicked up and bounced off of his right hand. You hear a little bit of howling. No call. Here's Edward Gaye. Now Trace Dobson in possession. Here's Sadie. Charles Sadie backs to Max Mathies. Has Charles, and the keeper does a nice bit of work. Good work. Elias Eriksson moving from his left to right, able to trap the ball on the last touch by Charles Sadie. If Charles is beyond Eriksson, that's an easy 4th goal. Getting a little bit chippy, and a yellow is shown. I believe that's is that to Schroyers? I think Steven Schroyers now on a yellow. ball put forward. And here's Martinez. Martinez with his arm over Appelt. Ball delivered forward, looking for Max Mathies. Max is coming. Max is yinging while his teammate was yanging, and just a bit of miscommunication. That ball falls to a Garwo United player. And here's Luke Williams. So 6 minutes going to be added of stoppage time. And I would guess 3 or 4 of those minutes directly related to the red card. There's Williams on the far touch. Williams has Max Mathies. Ball's defended forward by Elias Eriksson. Throw in for the Thunder. And Nate Yelu on the far touch. Defended out of play by Eric Dunbar. Trace Dobson. Talon Dobson. Ooh. Talon just about has Max. Ball's defended forward. Here's Martinez. Martinez harassed by Charles Sadie. And a little too emphatic in that harassment. Foul called, free kick. Now possession to Garwo United at midline. Melvin Geffey, 13, back to Geffey. And this is Roland Slujan finding Eriksson. Thunder lead 3-0. I think Appelt thinks he was fouled. Ball on the far touch. Played forward to Edward Guy. Flag is up again. And Thunder just continue to trap around that Cougar 30. Just continuing to find the attackers for Garwo United in an offside position. Throw on the far touch. Here's number 13. Put forward, taken out of the air by Nicola. And flag is up. My assumption is that this is a throw on the far touch. Throw for Garwo United. Just about 3 minutes remaining of stoppage time. I'll put out a play by Trace Dobson. Dunbar. Dunbar has 13. Phil Appelt looking to take possession. 13 with a throw. There's Elton Gabor. Ball given up. We have the numbers and the pace. Here's Max Mathies. Max Mathies, one-on-one. Shot fired again. And that's a goal. Thunder. Max Mathies. And that time Max zigs while Eriksson zags. Max again finding the back of the net. Left side of the goal. Again, wondering if your United are seeing something in that direction, as Eriksson has had a bit of trouble defending that side. Goals aplenty in this first half.
Left is right.
Left is right tonight. All right, so my assumption just about probably about 2 minutes remaining of stoppage time, maybe a minute and a half. And here's Mathies again, and Mathies cannot be stopped, and that's a goal, Thunder. And just a series of unfortunate events. Your Thunder finding Erickson a bit out of sorts, and that pass intercepted by Mathies. And Mathies 2 goals in real time, probably about 90 seconds. In game time, probably about 15 seconds. Max Mathies, certainly player of the half thus far.
The wheels are officially off the bus.
I think so. And if you're Gal United, I think you're hoping that maybe you try some things out in the second half, see if you can get something different. And I show maybe had a little bit more time, but whistle blown, and your Thunder take a 5-0 lead into the half out of Gal United. 2 or 3 goals off the foot of Max Mathies. We'll have to get the actual box score later on, but Max Mathies simply unstoppable so far for the Thunder. Thanks everybody again for watching. Here we are at halftime. Recall, please, that First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card are honored to help sponsor today's game and support the Sioux Falls Thunder. Giving back to the communities and making a difference with their time and resources is the premier way. Member FDIC. Other sponsors for today's game include Waterbury Heating and Cooling, Lewis, your first stop, Justin and Senta Pfeiffer of Hegg Realtors, PepsiCo, and to Zia on the field. Looks like Rodriguez, number 18 for Gal United. He will come off the field. Rodriguez with the most opportunities in possession in the attacking third in that first half. Looks like Nate Ayelu back on the field. Luke Williams, you see him, and Nate near midline. Number 7 on the field for Gal United, and that is David Daniel. Again, Gal will be playing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 men. They went down following the red card in the first half by Jefferson Blay. Number 8. Basu Amari on the field. Like Edward Gaye will remain on the field, as will number 9, Roland Sluyan. Elias Erickson remains in goal. Thumbs up from the 4th official, and we are underway. 45 done, 45 to go. In possession, this is Luke Williams. Williams finds Ransom Hall to Phil Appelt, back to Ransom Hall. Hall to Gabe Rossman, back to Appelt. Here's Luke Williams again on the near touch. And Luke's pass initially intercepted, regains possession, and will drop to Josiah Hutton. Hutton at the 18. Has Hall. Hall to Charles Sadie. Appelt. Stephen Schroyers. The far touch. Pass intercepted. And now Roland Sluyan is fouled by Disa Fix. Free kick. Gal United. Over this appears to be number 3. And attacking, guess who it is? Max Mathies, one-on-one, shot fired, left post. And what do you know? Max Mathies can miss. Now countering Gal United. And in possession. The defensive third, here's number 44. Finding Antuzia. The far touch, Disa Fix. Disa looking for the overlap from Mathies. The ball is directed into the gloves of Elias Eriksson, directing his defense. And that's our first drop kick of the game. Ball put out to the far touch. Here's number 13. Here's Sluyan. Ball at the feet of Gabriel Rossman. Rossman finding Antu. Just a little bit of an overplay. As Antu is tripped up. Stephen Schroyers will play out to the far touch. Thunder just at the edge of their attacking third. Disa Fix. Phil Appelt. Schroyers. Schroyers to Hall. Hall one in pursuit. Finds Zia. Williams looking. And that ball directed to the feet of O'Mara. Here's 13. One-on-one, shot fired above the post, off of the field goal post. This will be a goal kick. And a sub forthcoming for the Thunder. This is number 13, Rylan Eady. Eady on. And I did not see who came off. Looks like 39. Nate Ayelu off for the Thunder. Ayelu with at least one assist.
All right, I'm still having some issues up here, so I'll do a shot. Roger.
I'll put forward and off the head of Eady. The ball falls into the box, gathered by Josiah Hutton. Hutton to Ransom Hall. One defending, back to Hutton. Appelt. Back to Hall. Put to midfield, intercepted by number 8, O'Mara. Zia looking for Matisse. Ball dropped to Atkinson. Erickson, excuse me. Taken out of the air. Is it Rossman? Flicks this ball forward. It's gathered at the feet of Max Matisse. Centered to the feet of number 12, Disa Fix. Disa played off the ball, and the ball given right up to Zia. Shot fired high. Goal kick. Gao United. There's Gaye. O'Mara. Ball intercepted by Rylan Eide. Eide with the throw on the near touch. Williams. Williams passed one.
On to the Thunder, number 13, Eide.
Here's Schroyers. Schroyers finding Hutton. Hutton, turf monster, recovers quickly. Back to Steven Schroyers. Schroyers down the near touch. Has Max Matisse, and Max deflects that off of his own shoulder. Here's Zia. 13. Here's number 12, Disa Fix. One-on-one, shot fired right into the mitts of Elias Erickson. I think he was trying to chip. I think he was trying to chip over Elias, and just did not get enough elevation on his chip shot. The ball finds the gut of the Gao United keeper. Now Gao in possession at midfield. They'll move centrally. Through ball to number 7. This is Daniel, and slowed by the defense of the Thunder and gathered by Josiah Hutton. We'll get Josiah's blood moving. Far touch, big cross. Here to Luke Williams on the near touch. Williams has Eide. Finds Max Matisse. Max Matisse dispossessed with a step from Roland Sluyan. Eide. Appelt. Ransom Hall. On the far touch, this is number 35, Charles Saidi. Ball centered and cleared forward by O'Mara. Falls to the feet of a Thunder defender. That's Eide. Eide has Hall. Excuse me, that was Williams. Now here is Ransom Hall. Far touch. Beats one attacker. Ball ricochets to the far touch. Here's Disa Fix, who finds a teammate, Luke Williams, and Williams blasts this into the neighboring apartment complex. Goal kick. Gao United. Now Gao on the attack. All last touched by Gao. You throw in for your Thunder. Again, deflected out of play by number 13. Looking for Gabriel Rossman. Rossman defers to Charles Saidi. Saidi with the throw. Finds Disa. Ball flicked over the top of the goal for a goal kick. There's Erickson. has O'Mara, but decides to move the ball forward, and that finds the feet of Eide. Eide centers. Here's Disa. Ball cleared by 13, right to the head of Antuzia. And now on the near touch, the chance to counter is number 14, Milo Mahmoud. Gal United throw will be taken by Gaye. Ball last touched by Roland Sluyan. There's Rylan Eide. Eide looking for Max Mathies. Mathies moving centrally. Drops to Phil Oppelt, who makes one miss. Now Oppelt directing to the far touch. Onto the attacking third. Long cross to the feet of Luke Williams. Williams centers, and what do you know? A Max Mathies. It's 6-0. And Mathies behind at least 3 of them. Beautiful ball played forward and then crossed by Luke Williams. And that is going to be Mathies' time today. And he will come off and defer to Emmanuel, number 17. That's Emmanuel Kate or Kate. 17 in Emmanuel. And at the 57-minute mark, this ball played forward, and there's a best opportunity for Gal United. And shot is far right. Out of play for a Thunder goal kick. Here's Shores. Hall. Far touch. Not far touch. That's Charles Sadie, who's fouled. Quickly play forward. Ball given up in the center circle. To the far touch. Over midline. And Charles Sadie comes up with possession. Was looking for Emmanuel Kate. Ball's intercepted. Oh, here's Antuzia. Oppelt. Oppelt to Luke Williams. Possession maintained inbounds is past 1. Here's a cross. Deflected by Emmanuel Kate. Last touched, I think, by the keeper. And this will be a corner for the Thunder. So, Phil Oppelt over the corner. Right footed. This would be an outswinger. Oh, and waiting for it was Kate, but it's defended forward by Nicola. Ransom Hall. Phil. Gaye plays forward. Confusing Williams and Oppelt, as they have pretty similar hair and both have something in their hair to keep it out of their eyes. Williams 44. Oppelt is playing more in the central midfield position. Williams playing a right wing. goal kick. Here's Appelt, turf monster, but that does not impact the pass, which is gathered by number 13, Rylan Eide, to the far touch. Ransom Hall. Hutton. Hall. Fix. Sadie is past one. Cross coming. And shot fired. Who's there to gather? Back of the net. And that's a good goal. Getting his own deflection is number 17, Emmanuel Kate. And the goals just keep coming for your Thunder. That's Charles Sadie down the far touch. A bit of flair and speed. And then the cross. So Antuzia also a part of that, with contributing on an assist. And it is now 7-0 Thunder. Ball put forward. Here's number 7. The ball is touched too strongly and cleared forward by Josiah Hutton. Appelt finds Charles Sadie on the far touch. Sadie looking for Rossman. Ball's intercepted and well offside. Is number 7. Flag stays down, I think, because that ball was put so far forward it was easily gathered by Hutton. So really no impact on the play. Eide. Williams pass intended for Kate, intercepted by Nicola. And now here's Phil Appel, and back at it are your Thunder. Here's Disa Fix with 1 to beat. Ball allowed through to Rylan Eide into the box. Ball's deflected. Cleared forward eventually. Here's Daniel. Beyond Stephen Schroyers, and that ball slowed by Schroyers and eventually gathered by Hutton. Hall, Appelt, Hutton. Ransom Hall. Fix. Hall. Fix. Has Charles Sadie. Finds Rossman. Appelt. Williams on the near touch. Ball off of Williams' foot.
Entering for Garwo United, number 16. For the Thunder, number 28, Ashton Farrell.
Ashton Farrell comes on. He will relieve Disa Fix. And number 16 on for Garwo United. I do not have a name attributed to number 16, so like 13, I'll refer to him as number 16. Except I don't refer to number 13 as 16 or number. I refer to him as number 13. So I'll refer to 13 as 13 and 16 as 16. Here's Phil Appelt. Through 2 or 3, somehow this ball finds the feet of Phil Appelt, who shoots. And I think he's surprised to find himself with the ball behind so many defenders. And ends up firing it right at Elias Eriksson. At this point, down 7-0, Elias might be happy to receive balls directly from the Thunder team. This is a nice ball put forward, gathered out of the air by Steven Schroyers. Hall's pass is intercepted. Another through ball, too strong, gathered by Josiah Hutton. Eide deferring to Zia. Here's Antu Zia. Back to Eide. Eide is dispossessed by number 7, Daniel. Eide back in possession. Williams. Williams threads a needle and finds his teammate, number 17, Emmanuel Kate. Number 13 with throw. Finds Daniel. Ball played back to 16, and 16 to Eriksson. Nicola. Kate harasses Nicola, and eventually the ball falls to the feet of Sadie. Last touched by Charles on the far touch and out of play. Here's Ransom Hall. Ransom touch is just too strong, and Gao with brief possession, and possession taken back over by Thunder. Here's Hutton. (13) 16. And a warning given to Antu Zia. Now Gal United in possession in the center circle. Mara finds a midfielder on the far touch. Pass deflected to the feet of Ransom Hall. Last touch by a Thunder player. I think that's Sadie who last touched. Here's Eide. And for Kate, taken out of the air by 13. Another throw for the Thunder. Eide to Schroyers. Schroyers again looking for Kate, taken out of the air off the head of number 13. And we got a yellow card now coming for number 99, Roland Sluyan. I believe that's to Sluyan.
Guy United, number 99.
About 21 minutes remaining, plus stoppage. Thus far, not nearly the amount of stoppage anticipated in comparison to the 6 minutes that we had in the first half. Here's Eide. Eide looking to play a ball forward to Kate. It's intercepted by 13. I wish I knew his name. I would have been saying it a lot this game for Gal United. Here's 16. Ball played forward. Ends at the feet of Ransom Hall, who finds Williams. The 1-2, Williams to Kate. And look at the speed of Luke Williams just overtaking number 16. Shot fired. And mad at himself. I wonder if he's going to do some push-ups down there to coax himself into actually, maybe he's trying to stretch. Yeah. Long run out of Luke Williams. Shot fired is just wide right, ends up hitting the side of the net. And Williams, who has been at it all game long, needing a stretch. Flag is up. And kind of a cheeky defensive bit of work out of Josiah Hutton. Raises his hand to let the attacker know, hey, it's offside, it's offside. Attacker still shoots, and Hutton just kind of sticks a foot out. And possession given up. And this is going to likely, if this is not a goal, boy, gift given by the Thunder defense, currently playing down a man. Both teams are playing down a man, one via red card, another via cramping. And finally the ball out of play, and I think Luke Williams is going to get a little bit of physio for that long run. And maybe a substitution.
Together, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank are seek to make an impact for good. The communities they serve. That's why Premier is proud to sponsor the Sioux Falls Thunder. Member FDIC.
All right, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card now know there are no shortcuts to success. It's achieved through hard work, integrity, and believing in both yourself and your team. I believe in my team right up here in the press box. Premier is proud to help support our area athletes as they work to achieve their dreams. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card, member FDIC. Looks like 13 is cramping as well.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our championship sponsors, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card, Matinee Accounting and Cotton House Group Up. Thank you also to our League One sponsors, Waterbury Heating and Cooling.
Our championship sponsors, along with First Premier, include Matinee Accounting and Roundhouse. League One sponsors include Waterbury Heating and Cooling, Lewis, Your First Stop, Justin and Senta Pfeiffer of Hague Realtors, Pepsi, Dakota Toms, Avera Orthopedics, Culligan, Matinee Accounting and Technologies, Neighborhood Dental, and Inca Salsa. Inca Salsa, fresh, homemade salsa. So it looks like not Neil Goitom is potentially going to sub on. My assumption would be that
United, number 5, Joseph Leone.
and at number 5, Joseph Nyote. Now on for Gal United. Clean sheet maintained. Boy, a gift was given to Gal United, and a bit of extra hustle out of the Thunder defenders prevented that goal. Long ball put forward. Looking for Ashton Farrell. There's number 5, Nyote. Dropping to Erickson. There's Nyote. Finds number 11. Ball eventually put forward, cleared by Hall. Sluyan through 2. Looking for number 20. That's Nicola. Was defended by Eide. Now back to Sluyan and pulled back by Emmanuel Kate. Kate looked like went down via foul. No advantage given, no call made either. Here's 16. Here's Nyote. initially intercepted. Now taken out of the air by Rossman. Possessed by Hall. Hutton. Hutton looking for Kate. Ball falls to the feet of the center defender. Long ball played out of play, and coming onto the field is not Neil Goitom. There's not Neil. And my assumption is that he is coming on the field for Luke Williams. Luke had a phenomenal game. Just about a goal right before he had to come off. Here's Antuzia. Here's not Neil. Back to Kate. Phil Oppold. Crossing. Attained by Zia. Crossed. Wow. Off of the back flick. Back of the heel. The ball is deflected wide right. That would have been a majestic goal for goal number 8. But all for naught, resulting in a goal kick for Gal United. Heidi. Oppold. Schroyers finds Hall. Sadie. Off to the races on the far touch. This Gal United into their attacking third. Ball dropped to Hutton. Hutton has Heidi. Zia. Zia harassed by Slujan. Slujan finds number 14. This is Mahmoud. All deflected out of play for a corner kick for Gal United. Is this the first corner of this half for Gal United?
I can't tell if Gal United has found something special or if the Thunder have just decided to settle back.
Yeah, it just seems like maybe Thunder's not pressing as much as they were.
They don't really need to.
At 7-0, I don't think you don't necessarily need to pressure point. Now on the field, number 17, Benin Peterson. Here's the corner, cleared by Oppold. Right to the newly subbed on Benin Peterson. We still have to play with some effort and intensity. Here's Rossman. Rossman, who I believe coming into this game was maybe our leading scorer, according to the internet. Ball last touched by not Neil Goitom. Here's Peterson. Here's not Neil. Not Neil finds Kate. Kate through 2. And eventually the foul called on Kate, or was the flag up? I could not see.
I think it was a foul.
Okay, a foul on Emmanuel Kate. Delivered forward, taken out of there by Sadie. The center circle and playing forward to number 7, Daniel. There's a little bit of work for Josiah Hutton. Hutton rolls forward to Rossman. To Hall. Yeah. Can't be too lackadaisical here in our defensive 9th. Full switch to Eide. Eide with plenty of space. Eide has Goydam. Goydam back to Eide. Crossed. Put forward in the air, off the head, defended, and then again defended. A brilliant play out of Elias Eriksson. Defends 2 headers.
He stepped up his game in the last spot.
Yeah. And for a keeper who's currently down 7 goals, showing a bit of gumption, stepping up, and keeping 2 really nice shots via the headers of Thunder players out of the net. Here's Hall. Eide. Eide looking for Kate. Kate allows that ball through to Ashton Farrell. And Eriksson on it. All pulled back, given back to Eriksson. Here's Niati. Foul on not Neil. Quick conference. And something was heard from the bench of Gal United. Yellow card given, I'm assuming, to the I'm assuming the coach of Gal United, or maybe to one of the players. Not really certain. As you see, the 4th official, Ben Merritt, called the center ref over at midline. So obviously something stated. Understandably frustrated, but something to keep your cool even down 7-0. Here's Boas, last touched by number 3, Amani Boas. Thunder throw under 7 minutes of regulation time. Is Ransom Hall. Ball's delivered back to Boas. Oppelt. A bit of possession for Gal United. And ball given back to Thunder. Rossman and Farrell trying the 1-2, and their pass intercepted. Turf Monster gathers the foot of Ransom Hall. And again, just a bit of chippiness. For some reason, Saidi is on the ground. Or if Charles is cramping as well. Free kick. And Milo Mahmood emphatically being told to back away. Free kick. But way downfield, taken out of the air by Peterson. Eide, the intended. Ball's intercepted. Finds the feet again of Rossman. There's Gabriel Rossman. Finding Zia. Zia to Oppelt. Eide. Schroyers. Hutton. Schroyers. Oppelt. The ball is intercepted by Peterson. And again, off to the races is Daniel. And that was an excellent opportunity off the foot of Mahmoud. Looking for number 11. Pass just beyond the reach of number 11, Obadiah Blay. Garwo United throw. Here's Peterson. Taken out of the air by Oppelt. Falling to Niate. Peterson. And Slujan, pass 2. Just on the edge of the box. Ball put forward in a dangerous spot and then eventually cleared, finding the feet of Farrell, who is harassed at the edge of the center circle. Zia. Schroyers. Intended for Kate, finds the feet of a defender. Niote. Erickson. Back to Joseph Niote. And the Slujan. Ball forward, tracking it down is Ransom Hall, who does attain possession. Attempts to play the ball forward. That ball, though, is over the far touch for a throw-in. And what do you know? Ransom Hall there to intercept. And now in possession is the Thunder. Here's Zia. And Peterson intercepts. Eide. Zia. Certainly been content to possess in the defensive third. A little bit of trouble maintaining that possession at times, as the ball then just given up in that the edge of the defensive third. But up 7-0. No need to really press forward unless you have a great opportunity. As they may have right now. Here's Charles Sadie. Over midline. Full cross to Notnil. Notnil is dispossessed briefly by Peterson. Peterson plays this ball over the near touch. And Rylan Eide with a throw. Here's Notnil. And Notnil is grabbed by Peterson. Attempts to maintain possession. Last touched by Garwo United. Under a minute of regulation remains in this USPL. Thunder home game. Thunder with a commanding 7-0 lead. Garwo United has been playing down a man since about halfway through the first half. Zia. Oppelt. Played off the ball. And see if we just drop all the way back to Hutton with regulation time about to end. And that's going to be the game, folks. No stoppage time to be played, and your Thunder take the 7-0 win over Garwo United. Thanks again for everyone watching on the live stream, Particular thanks to our championship sponsors, First Premier, Matinee Accounting, and Roundhouse. Also thank you to our League One sponsors, Waterbury Cooling and Heating, Lewis, Justin and Senta Pfeiffer, Hague Realtors, Pepsi, Dakota Toms, Avera Orthopedics, Culligan, Neighborhood Dental, and Inca Salsa. Special thanks to the broadcast team, Eric and Spencer, keeping everything running for us. Your Thunder take the W 7-0 over Gal United. Man of the match has to be Max Mathies. All right. Next up for your Thunder, I think a game this Saturday? Friday and Saturday. Check your local listings for game times. Thanks for joining us. Good night.